Hi guys, welcome back to another homework video.
Hola chicos, bienvenidos a otro video de tarea.
This video is all about practicing for your skills midterm, so let's get into it. The first thing we have up here is a graph that you guys are needing to describe what it's measuring. I have here 2 sample responses, and I want you to pick which response is a better answer to the question. Okay, yes, option 2 is the better response here because it is more clearly telling us what the graph is measuring. It's not just giving us a list of all of the labels. It's saying that it's measuring sales over time, and it's giving us the year range. Great. So the next question is, what is one trend in the data? So when we're describing trends in data, we want to use words that describe increases and decreases, and we want to say how those things are happening. So which of these 2 responses is doing a better job at that? Here, option 1 is doing a better job for the simple reason that it is accurate while the option 2 is not accurate. Option 1 is saying that there was a sharp increase and then sales crashed. Option 2 is saying that there was an overall slight decrease from 1997 to 2013. That is just not true. We can see it goes from like 0 over here to like 200. So there's an overall increase in this graph, or in the sales in this graph. Another skill on your skills midterm is going to be answering open response, like written response questions. So here we're going to focus on marking up the question, understanding what it's asking us, and making sure that we have a checklist for all important parts. This question asks, using evidence from the passage, explain how the winter storm resulted in disruptions to both transportation and access to electricity. In your answer, identify 2 specific storm conditions and describe how each condition caused a disruption. There are so many command verbs in this question. First, it's asking us how to explain something. It's asking us to explain something. It's also asking us to identify something and describe something. And it's asking us to use evidence. The thing that's asking us to explain is it's asking us to explain how the winter storm resulted in disruptions to transportation and access to electricity. So it's going to be really important that we include both of those in our answers, the disruption to transportation and the disruption to access to electricity. Okay, so that's one. Another thing is we need to use evidence. So we need to make sure our evidence is related to transportation and electricity. And we need to identify 2 specific storm conditions. So 2 specific things that happened during the storm that are explaining this. Okay, so let's check. Does this answer properly answer the question? The winter storm resulted in disruptions to both transportation and access to electricity because, quote, it looked like a tornado went down every street. This person has evidence here, as in they have a quote from the text, but it is not related. And they did not explain their thinking at all. Maybe if they had said, because it looked like a tornado went down every street, cars were unable to transport people, that might be related to transportation, but they didn't even explain that. This whole part up here is just them restating the question, which we do not need. We do not need that. That is using up basically 90% of their written response space on nothing. They're not saying anything. We're going to look at a strong example here. The passage states that, quote, more than 6,400 flights were delayed. That's evidence related to transportation. And that, quote, power outages affected more than 800,000. This happened because snow caused power lines to snap and snow covered airport grounds. So that's our two disruptions, and we discussed how it disrupts transport and electricity. This is a great answer. We checked off every piece of the question that needs to be addressed, and we did it concisely. Our answer got straight into the answer with evidence, and it clearly explained how the evidence was relevant. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with one last graph to identify a trend in, but I just want to let you guys kind of remember the purpose of the skills midterm. It's to help us help you be ready for the regents. So we're going to put you into different groups based on this, meaning if you need help with graphs, you're going to be in a group that's getting help with graphs. So you need to do your best so we can see what your actual skills are and what your actual areas of need are. If you put minimal effort into this, we will not have any idea what you need help with, and you will be put into a group that is going over a skill that you don't really need help with. So I'm going to leave you guys off with this graph about female African elephant tusklessness. It tells us the year, the sample size, the number of tusked females, the number of tuskless females, and the percentage of tusklessness. I'm going to ask for you guys to identify one trend across the years here. And good luck on your skills midterm. Bye.